I think all that came into play. So I think it was good for both of them to go home, and I think it wasn't production. I think it was a legitimate vote.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Glenn. JR, talk to me. What's your thoughts? Will and Jonathan, they had to go. Production.
Yeah, I think the right choices were made. I agree. Jonathan, he wasn't into any of the ladies enough to be more open with them. And I think William, he was causing problems with the way he was handling what was said about him. So ladies weren't feeling them. So they were justified in their decision, in my opinion.
Cool. Appreciate it. Aries, what's your thoughts?
Um, yeah, I just feel like honestly he went after because of what happened last week. To be honest, it was like, yeah, you gotta go. And there probably was more chatter after that. I think Alexis acting as if she didn't, she felt so bad that he was going home, but she was really the reason why he was going home. So, I mean, she called that out herself. So it was funny to watch her kind of play the game and be like, "Oh my God, I'm just, sad that you're leaving." And so anyway, that was just funny to me. So I feel like that was really the main reason with Jonathan, and obviously Will was like the real, the real one that was like voted out just because we don't like you. Um, at least that was what it sounds like now that they're talking about the other part of the snake and all that junk. So anyway, yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Appreciate it. Jay, what's your thoughts? Production, not production? Jonathan, Will, how did both go?
I'm like everybody else. I agree. It's a little bit of both. Yeah.
Appreciate it, Jay. Thank you. All right, so Jay was like this. I'm gonna hit it sweet and short, a little bit of both. Okay. uh, Seaway, talk to me.
I think for Jonathan, it was probably a little bit more production, but I think either one of them would have got sent home today for their own reasons. I don't think production had to work too hard. So if they did play a role.
Okay, cool. I hear it. All right, cool. Let's have the first kind of conversation then, because obviously, Justin had a conversation with Rashina, and quite instantly had a conversation with Rashina, and then had a conversation with Maya. We know that obviously Justin has been saying, he doesn't really mind if he doesn't have kids. He's looking to be stepdaddy of the year, and then all of a sudden with Maya, he's like, you know what? I want kids. I want to be able to have children. Da 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 da. It seems like he was playing a game. Seaway was correct again because Seaway did call us out from last week, where she said obviously that Justin, leave that man alone because he wants kids, and yet now she's been proven right again because clearly the brother told us he wants kids, even though he was saying he want to play stepdaddy of the year. So, was he double speak? Was Justin double speaking, or is this a case of just that two truths can be true? What was your thoughts on Justin? With Rashina, in that case, and Maya's date. Seaway, go for it.
I'm gonna have to get on Justin this time because I think this is an example of being maybe a male pick me, maybe being a good guy, being a nice guy, not a good guy. Because to me, you're saying what you think people want to hear, but in reality, you want kids. And I think I think less so being a male pick me is more so being a nice guy, not a good guy, because he tried to hold on to the two women that he knew, he liked for various reasons, trying to hope that he could get the women with no kids. And that's not really right, especially when it comes to Rashina, because she definitely asked him, like, how do you feel? She wasn't trying to push it or nothing. She was just like, are you cool with that? I'm a mom, like, blah blah blah. He's like, yeah, da, da. He was just acting like it wasn't that big of a deal. Even though I saw through it, I feel like maybe if I was there in person and it was directed at me, maybe I would have believed him. It's just looking on the screen, it was quite obvious that it was Cap. So I think he should stop speaking out of two sides of his mouth, because the last thing you want to do is waste a woman's time and then it turns into a big to-do when you could have just been more forthcoming from the beginning. So I think Justin needs to work on that and just be honest. Be honest from the gate. It saves you so much drama later on. Just be honest.
Love that. Go for it. Go for it, Jay. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a different view from Seaway on this one. One, he just came in as a curveball. He trying to stay in the game. So he got to kind of say things in a way that don't get him immediately voted out. Now, he never told those women he don't want kids. He said, I'm cool with not having none. I'm coming to an understanding that I might not have none, yada, yada, yada. So I'll give you, it's two things that could be true at the same time. He could obviously, honestly be cool with not having kids because of the woman he chooses. At the same time, he wants kids. So when I say I want kids, sometimes it don't necessarily have to be mine. I can take somebody else's on. I can adopt kids. That third could be that. But I also do agree with Seaway on this point. I believe, truthfully, deep down inside, that man actually does want kids of his own. He may be at a point where he's just like, you know what, I'm getting older. The woman I choose is getting older. She may come with kids. She may not. I'm not sure. So I'm open to any and everything. And I'm just keeping my options open. And I can't totally be mad at him because he's coming in late to this process. And in order for him to meet everybody and get around to everybody, you kind of got to play the game a little bit. So it is what it is. He didn't outright lie to nobody, because if that's his truth, that he's open to it or open to not having, then that's his truth.
I think the lie is, Jay, though, he's not open to that. I think that's where the cap is.
Possibly.
I think that's the cap. If I really believed that he was open, I wouldn't say that, but I don't believe he's open. I think he wants to stay on the show. And if everybody's okay with that, then that's cool. But I kind of see, it's pretty clear what he was doing.
I hear it. Aries, what's your thoughts of this?
I'm right there. I'm right there with Seaway on this one. I feel like he's just, and Jay too, I guess, because I think he's saying whatever to stay relevant, basically. But the reality is that you're 34 years old. You know you want some kids. You have plenty of time to figure that out. And he's sounding like he's knocking on 50 or something. Like he's like, I've settled that I'm gonna be all right if I don't. No, you're not. You want children and it's cool. But a lot of these women, it sounds like they don't want kids. So I think if he wants to stay on the show, he's gonna have to play the game just for game playing sake at this point, if he doesn't really see someone that is a potential, which Maya, I feel like she's a potential. So we'll see what that does. But yeah, he's just capping right now. Cause he lit up when Maya said she didn't have kids. You don't have kids? Oh my God. Like it was a whole different light up than he had with the other ones. So
Love that. Thank you, ladies, for that. Glenn, what's your thoughts on this, man? Is he capping man to man? Is he capping on this part?
Yeah, he's playing the game because he's playing the game. He's telling each woman something different, right? I agree with Aries because he did light up when Maya said she didn't have any kids, and he was like, "Oh, you don't have no kids? I mean, we can have kids together, right?" Then he's changed every week because again, last week he was like, if I need to be stepdaddy, I can be stepdaddy, and then he told another girl, if I don't want no kids. I think he told Mika, I don't want no kids, right? So he's telling each one of his connections something different, right? Told Mika, I don't want any kids. I'm comfortable with, if I don't have any, I'm good. Told Rashina, it's okay. I'll be stepdaddy. And told Maya, you know what? I can be your daddy, right? Or I can be the kid's daddy. I'm the pappy. But, whatever the case may be, he's willing to play that game so he can stick around. And each one of his connections has something different. So he's willing to, again, 34 years old, around kids every day. As a PE teacher, 8th grade, middle school kids, you want kids because you like kids, you love kids. It's not a job to you. Teaching is not just a job. He enjoy kids, so he wants to have his own. I'm not too many men that don't want their own kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't know too many men that don't want their own kids. So I think he does want kids, but it has to be the right person, the right woman. And I think Maya is that woman that he's willing to say, you know what, I want to have kids with you. And I think that's why he said, hey, I don't mind having kids, because he think Maya could be the one. And so I think he was willing to open up and share. That twerking she did last week did something to him.
That twerk was doing something to him. I can't lie to you. Would have done something to me too, to be honest. Shake, 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 shake. JR, talk to me. What's your thoughts on this, man? Cap or no cap?
Yeah, I think everybody has a little bit of truth in it, in what they see. Like with him being a teacher, he's around kids all day, and I think that can go two ways. I think you can either be sick and tired of them by the time you finish work and you want some downtime, and that might put you off having your own. Or he might love kids to the point where he wants his own, and after he finishes work dealing with everybody else's kids, he's in that frame of mind to come home and deal with his own. He's have his own family. My concerns with him is if he's a teacher, then salary wise, is he going to be able to support being a stepdad or anything like that? Because some of these ladies have 2 kids and more, So I think he is also trying not to eliminate or shrink his dating options by basically appeasing whoever's in front of him at the time. So if he's talking to a lady that has kids already, then yeah, I don't really foresee myself having my own kids. When he's around Maya or someone that doesn't have kids, I think she's one of the few that doesn't. Like, because she doesn't have kids already and he doesn't, then he's thinking maybe this could be a connection where he can have his first child and her first child together, and that can be something they share. So I think he's just trying not to eliminate anyone. He's trying to just appease whoever's in front of him at the time.
Love it. All right, cool. Sean, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I don't know if he's lying per se, but I think he might be one of those people that is like a chameleon, and or slash a little bit of people pleasing. So, you know, I think that could be it. In addition to what everybody else said, could he be lying? Perhaps, but it just, to me, it more so just comes. He's like getting in where he can fit in. That's the kind of guy that I see him as.
I hear you on that. Listen, I think he's obviously a little bit of a double speaker. He's doing what he needs to do to stay on the show, being a curveball, and just being he's on the edge, right? He's saying enough on both sides not to get totally called out, but enough to get both parties interested. All right, so probably a very clever way of trying to stay on the show, clever way of keeping his options very much open. But Maya was definitely on his radar. I mean, he literally closed the space between himself and Maya. Like, he really wanted to talk to her. Maya looked like she was apprehensive too. I don't know. Maya looked very apprehensive. I want to get your thoughts. What do you guys think, obviously, of Maya and Justin's date? Because in that date, she looked a little bit like she, maybe she didn't want to necessarily be there, or should I say, she didn't want to get close. She had her hands in her lap, she kind of was keeping herself to herself. It was him that had to close the space a little bit. So I wonder what your thoughts were. And also her telling us that her top connection was William. And he mentioned the 3 kids. And she was like, yeah, I can't believe it. But yeah, that's my top connection right now. William is number 1. And that surprised me too, I had to look at Maya again. Like, maybe, you know what? Maybe I got her wrong a little bit. You know what I mean? Maybe I overjudged her a little bit. What's your guys' thoughts to this? With Maya and the date with Justin and William being a top connection. Generally go for okay. Oh, Aries going first, then Aries and then Jay.
I was gonna quickly say that it was kind of given like, the women will be in the lounge talking and they made friends, so it's like maybe her and Mika are cool, or somebody, and it's kind of like, I ain't trying to be all up on your man. Like, that's your man. You know, it was kind of like, because I'm confused. Like, I really would like to know what the separation is. You know, with me, with Maya and Justin, for him to be like her lowest connection. Like, I can understand if y'all just haven't had a chance to meet up or whatever. But if somebody's cute and you're feeling, you know, you're like, okay, finally we get to have a date. You know, like, it a little bit more interesting. So that was I was trying to understand that vibe, but I feel like Maya, she kind of turns away from most people when she's talking. So maybe, I don't know, that could be her style. Um he definitely threw shade at William. That's another reason I'm like, he ain't trying to be with nobody with no kids, because he threw that out there real quick to get his edge up on William. To Maya was like, how many kids he got? Like, putting that as a, you know, almost like a dig to William, which is something to point out, being that Maya does not have kids. So it's like, we don't have kids, we should be, you know, talking. So I guess that definitely threw me. But I was feeling like, I at this point I feel like I'm just like a big old cynic, because I'm like, are people just out here to try to be on the show for real, for real? Because I don't know. I'm not buying some of these connections. I need more information. I need to do some recon behind the scenes with this one. But yeah, I definitely thought he threw some shade at William on that part, to point out the kid situation. So, mm.
I hear it. Go for it, Jay.
Yeah, this day started off a little rough for me. I was like, oh, I think she was not happy about it being Justin when she first walked in. But overall, Maya's going to be Maya, and she knows how to turn the charm on when she needs to. So the day ended more nicer and more smoother than it started. But I do think she was a little disappointed, as it came off as if she's been asking for a date, probably with somebody else. And once again, here we are, y'all giving me my lowest connection. That's how she walked into there. Either that, or my girl's not a fan of sushi. It's one of the two. Because she was just like not happy at first. But eventually it got better. She gave him the most eye contact that we seen, but you know, production like to play in our face, so they probably listening to us and edit it that way. So who knows? But at the end of the day, I thought it was a cool date. They had a lot in common. They both from Mississippi. Clearly, they both want kids. Kind of like Aries, I wonder why he was on the lowest, and I'm just assuming that she hadn't had much time with him, and that it was an easy pick in the game for her to say him. But they got the time. We'll see how it goes. They kind of aligned a little bit at the end. And we've been watching Justin throw shade at the men since he been on, so that's just him. He gonna come for the men before anything else. So is it gonna work in his favor? I don't know. Her liking William, it's not a problem. It's a guy with 3 kids. You know, you said it yourself on your individual take on the Mika. When women are comfortable, when women feel secure or whatnot, you reconsider a lot of things. You reconsider a lot of options, and I think William tends to make Maya feel a little bit secure enough with the fact that he has 3 children. He has been the most upstanding, honest person that we have seen through this whole process. He actually seems like a person that is here for actual love. So that can make a person feel real comfortable, especially in a room full of pretend fake people.
I hear it. Siwe, talk to me. Maya.
Yeah. We're just talking about, are we surprised that she likes William?
Yeah, just her date with Justin, and her behavior with Justin, and then obviously as well her liking William. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. She confuses me, because if I would have just took the date, I thought she didn't like him. She seemed very standoffish, and she was turning away. She seemed like she was giving him like the kind of church, when you just tap somebody on the shoulder, you get a little shoulder hug. That's what she seemed like she was giving. But then later on in the episode, her confessionals, she was she said she liked him. So I don't know. Maybe she's one of those people who gives confusing energy, because her energy on the actual date did not give that she liked him. It gave that she was just like there for, the vibes, and that was about it. So I was very confused by that, but I'm not confused about her liking William. And I said this on another round, but honestly, Maya and William are darn near the only two normal people on the show. Normal meaning like people actually on the show looking for love, in my opinion. So the fact that she likes William is not surprising because he seems to be one of the few people with any type of genuine energy. And I'm pretty sure she rather try to get to know him and his three boys than deal with the other clownery that I think is going on. So I'm definitely not surprised at all that she's digging William because he seems to be one of the better ones on there, if not the best. Even with, his kids. So which would be a plus for somebody maybe with kids. I just see it being a little different for Maya in her situation. But regardless, three boys, he takes care of them. It's really a plus if you look at it, glass half full. So, I'm not surprised.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Seaway. Glenn, what's your thoughts, man? Maya, connection with, Mr. William?
I was a little confused at first because again, that was her least favorite connection. But then, seemed like Justin probably went to production or asked somebody, could they get to? Because he was like, he wanted to know what the twerk was all about, right? Because he said, hey, I want to know her. I wanted to get to know her a little bit more. I wanted to get to know her a little bit better. I don't know her. They didn't have any interaction, and so she probably came into the date like, why is he here? Because again, I don't know anything. But I think as Jay mentioned, as the date progressed, they started to realize they had a lot of things in common. The Mississippi connection, the no kid connection, and you could see her getting warming up to him a little bit more. I think it was just he was her least favorite because she never had any interaction with him. But with the confessional, which we know are done later, I think she actually started to like Justin. I thought he won her over with the date. And I think he won her over with the date, with the conversation, with the gaze in her eyes, with the compliments that he was giving her. It wasn't like the date with Lamar where it was just nothing about sex. So it was something different from what she's used to. And I think he won her over during the date. The William connection, I think is great because she's having a good time with him. He makes her laugh, right? It's enjoyable. He's not. I think somebody mentioned earlier they're both down to earth or normal, and they both having real life conversation. Is no ploy, right? When you see William and when we hear William talk, he's telling you what he wants, right? He's telling you what the priorities are in his life. He lets you know what his non-negotiables are. He'll let people. He's honest. Like, these are my boys. I'm going to take care of my boys. I'm going to do this. I'm going to treat women like this. I'm going to have communication like this. I was an athlete at one time, so I think the honesty that he portrays, the communication that he gives to when he's talking to women, is making her attracted to him. Because again, he's not coming with the tomfoolery or anything else. He's coming with the realness. He's giving people the real him. Either take it or leave it. But this is who I am. I'm in the military. I do comedy. I do these things, and this is what I do. I may change. I may not change, but take it or leave it. And I think that's what she likes: the honesty and the fact that he is one of the most normal people that's on the show.
Go for it, JR. Thank you, Glenn.
Yeah, I think there is a genuine like between both of them, Maya and William. And I think the only issue that I see is the lifestyle compatibility with his having 3 kids and her not necessarily having any. It may not be a major deal, but I think compatibility wise, there may be an issue. But I think they like each other. I think going on a date with Justin, like, she probably realized that through talking to him, they have more compatibility in terms of not having kids yet and all of that stuff. So she may initially not have been attracted to him as much as some of the other ladies were. But I think after their date, he probably went up in her estimation a little bit. And, I also think she isn't necessarily sold on one particular guy yet. So as much as she likes William, I think she's happy to, giggle and laugh with all the guys, really. she just seems like she's open to conversation and quite a light-hearted person. So she's gonna be a favorite for many of the guys there, and not to mention they all like her physically. So yeah, I think she's gonna carefully choose from her options as the season continues, and I'm not sure whether it's going to be William or Justin yet.
Sean looks arms folded. Talk to me, Sean. That's
Yeah, I think Maya's playing the game smartly. She's not making any bold statements. She's not doing anything to rub anybody the wrong way, especially the men. And I think she is doing more taking in than giving out, meaning she's collecting information so she can make the best choice for herself, which is, I think, a smart position for a woman to be in, is, say less and let the guys do the talking. And she just seems to be, and I don't know if that's a plan of hers, or if that's just how she is. Maybe she's a little bit more reserved. I know people say that they don't see her making eye contact with the guys. I think she might be a little shy. I don't know if every time she does that, it's an indication of how much she likes or doesn't like the person, because she does seem to be a little bit shy to me. And I think that's a part of her personality too. But yeah, I would like to know more about her, though. I would like to hear a little bit more of her sharing about who she is and, what makes her the woman that she is. But, I like what I see so far. Beautiful woman. And that easygoing personality is definitely endearing.
Outside of her waist training business, what does she do? I can't remember. Do we remember?
I thought it was like IT consulting or something like that. Or was that Layland? I don't know.
I thought it was something.
Oh, it was like healthcare tech or something. Something like that.
Yeah, because she seems like she's like into lots of. Oh, she's a healthcare IT consultant. Yeah, I agree with Sean. I want to know more about her, like her as a person. I think it's hard to figure out like what she is actually into, because all we know about her is that she's cute, she's easygoing, and she seems to be kind of chilled, down to earth, a little shy. We really don't know much about her. So
no, I hear that.
I think that's
Listen,
because
I think go for it. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
no, I think that's because the only date that she went on a date with Lamar where he didn't really give her a chance to talk anyway, but she was at her business. And then the date with Justin, they were just getting to know each other, and we haven't seen that neither. So a little bit of that's production. I think why we don't really know too much about Maya, because I can't remember any other dates that she's been on, unless somebody can help me out. I think those are the only two dates they've shown that Maya's been on, with Lamar and with Justin, and we never seen her talk much, So I think that's why we don't know too much about her, except for when Lamar met her at the waist train when she was doing her photo shoot. So I think that's why we don't know anything.
She had the date with LeBron at the place where he was standing up over her, and what was that one? It was like a group date or something like that, but they had their little moment where we said we didn't see no chemistry and he got mad.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Aries. Thanks for I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. Thanks. But that's it. I mean, she wanted not a 50-50 person. She wanted a partner, somebody to partner with her and to move things forward. But nothing else.
Listen, I definitely hear you on those parts, and I think for me, Maya, I think she can be a little bit shy, and she can be a little bit reserved, and I think sometimes sometimes you expect someone to be a bit more vivacious and open because they're such a pretty person, and sometimes that isn't always the case. Some people are a little bit more introverted in the way they maneuver. I do think, like Sean said, I think she's moving in the game. She's moving chess pieces, and she doesn't want to do too much. At the same time, because of her prettiness, people are going to be drawn in. You know what I mean? And it actually becomes part of a very dangerous weapon actually, because actually now, she gives you a bit of the coy behavior, doesn't give you too much energy, but maybe she flutters the eye a little bit, or she looks at you a particular way, and us as men, we only need one little signal and we're gonna be drawn in. So it kind of works for her in some shape or form. So but it just felt like at first she was a little bit distant from Justin, and it almost felt like she didn't want to be there. But I don't know, she might have a little bit opened up a little bit towards the end, and maybe that's her body language. Maybe that's her kind of way of doing things. She's a little bit introverted when she kind of discusses and gets into conversation with you. Who knows? But someone said no personality. Golly, I don't know if I said no personality. I just think she just is a little bit more. She's just not your most extroverted person, outwardly going kind of person that puts her energy outward like that, maybe. But I'm gonna take your perspective too. I mean, she could be boring. I haven't seen that from her just yet. Oh Lord, someone's not doing the comparisons. But yeah, I think it's quite interesting to see her operate as well, because I don't know, she didn't give me that same energy with Jonathan early in the season. So it's interesting to see how she maneuvers with different people. Any other thoughts on on Maya before we shift it?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, how we want to stick people in these boxes, and then they just have to be one thing, and the minute they don't do something that we think is that, it means they're not. You know what I mean? Like, she could be shy and still twerk. Like, I saw that flying through the comments, and then a couple people saying that. And I just don't think that doesn't make her not shy because she twerked on him in the middle of a group setting, But if generally you look at her behavior, she doesn't make eye contact. She's somebody that is a little more, she's not the most out loud and speaking out loud kind of person. So, I don't think that necessarily makes her not shy. And then this whole thing, like, she's boring. I don't think she's boring at all, and this is from a man's perspective. So if the women think she's boring, God bless you, but she's not boring to me. And I think most men that would see her engaged in an interaction, nobody thinks she's boring, as a man, So first of all, I don't need somebody loud and, bumping their gums 24/7 either. That doesn't attract me as a man. I like a little bit of reservedness. I like somebody that, kind of checks the temperature of the room. And it's easier to engage with somebody that is maybe doing a little bit more listening than talking. So I have no qualms with, I'm not saying, oh, I love her, I want her, but I think that personality type is really nice.
I'm hearing you, Sean. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Before we go to the next person, shout out to Miss View. She says, so grateful for the panel. Keep on keeping on. The Blessing Live. Thank you very much. Shout out to your contribution and the Grace as well. Thank you. Under the Olive Branches, send us $20 as well. Thank you very much. Underneath the Olive Branches and Miss View, we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. It's always appreciated when you guys contribute towards us as well. Thank you again once more. All right, cool. Listen, we got to get to the next one now. It's been interesting to see that it's one of those interesting conversations. Chaz and Alexis. I actually missed them off in my summary, but Chaz and Alexis are into one. They went on a date. Alexis was like, I thought we were gonna kiss. Daga daga daga. He said that he didn't want to kiss because obviously he's got other connections. I was a bit like, I don't know what's really going on here between these two. I'm not sure what's really going on. But Chaz, of course, the ladies' man, the one that the ladies want. He's very much wanted by a lot of the majority of the ladies, as they think he's the most good looking. And Alexis too, super cool, super chill. Seems to get along with pretty much everyone until she snitches, or feels like people feel like she snitches, and then it becomes mayhem. But I ain't gonna lie to you, my personal opinion, Chaz is a bit of a playboy. But hey, listen, look, that's just my personal opinion. I think he is a gamer. He knows exactly what he's doing. He plays the game very well, and he's very adept at playing the game. And it goes back to my point about last week. That's why I didn't like last 2 weeks. Why I didn't like the way he dealt with the Laurent situation at first. Not him taking him aside, but how he jumped in, because he's very astute and knows exactly what he's doing. But that's my personal opinion. What's you guys' thoughts? Chaz, Alexis, how did you read it? How did you read it? Jay, go for me. Talk to me.
I didn't read much into this outside of Alexis trying to form her an alliance. Some people to back her up or whatnot. Chaz don't really need no help clearly because according to the ladies, that he's the top pick, I guess. So it's not like he really needs the help. I just noticed the whole thing, this whole episode. Production seemed to put everybody on dates with random people. So here we are, these two just trying to make something out of nothing. What I didn't like though is Alexis bringing up Koshia. Why are we bringing up somebody that don't exist anymore? She's not on the show anymore. What was the purpose of that? And I noticed that Chaz peeped that himself. He was just like, yeah, he's gonna give the presidential answers to everything. He was like, I'm a little sad that she was gone. No, you weren't. You was cool. You was okay because she wasn't on your top or anything like that. But I didn't understand her purpose. I didn't understand the goal of it because she is already gone. You want to talk about what happened in the ladies' lounge? She's already gone. It's not justifying that the men didn't have a connection with her and sent her home. So to me, I'm not about to waste my date talking about a whole nother woman that don't exist. My opinion.
Yeah, that part got me. I'm just like, why? It could have easily been production making her ask that, but I'm like, why? That was so irrelevant. It has nothing to do with anything, and she's gone, so none of it matters. Like, it just didn't matter. It was like just another opportunity for Alexis to run her mouth yet again about what's going on in the ladies' lounge, but this time to Chaz. But I really think she was just securing her spot because Will had left. And who else? Jonathan was one of her other connections, right? So she had lost a lot in one day. So I felt like she was heavy on the trying to flirt with Chaz, I guess if that's what you call it. And he was just feeding into it for the same reasons that you just said. Like, he's like, hey, the more the merrier for me. The more I secure, the better. But I think she really was trying to secure him and then use that opportunity to throw that in the other lady's face in the lounge, like, and I think we were gonna kiss, but girl, he did not do nothing that looked like he was about to kiss you at all. It wasn't nothing sexy about that. I'm sorry. Nothing sexy about it. I was just like, I wanted to just, that part, I was just like, I can't stand the fake. Don't be fake with it. Like, if y'all really were vibing like that, all right, cool, whatever. But you fabricated that. So, yeah. And I'm sure they probably asked him, like, so did you want to kiss Alexis? That made him even mention it. He was probably not even thinking about kissing her. So yeah, that part, it was kind of cringy. And I fast forwarded a couple times. I had to go back and watch it again because I just didn't want to see them really, to be honest. Because I wasn't feeling nothing like romantic really from them.
Seaway.
I wanted to hear the guys first to see what they had an opinion. They be sitting back waiting for us to say that our opinions. So I wanted to hear what they had to say.
Now, why you want to wait for the guy, Seaway?
I was
The
wondering.
ladies want
I
to go
don't even know if
first.
they're gonna have a different opinion, but I was just curious.
Okay. Well,
That's
Seaway
what
wants to
I
throw it to the gentleman, so Seaway's deferred her position, said she wants the gentleman to go. So, gentlemen, do you want to let Seaway know your opinions? Sean said, "Yeah, he ready."
Yeah, I mean, listen, I wanted to like Alexis, like many of us in the beginning, but the behavior is it's kind of just turning me off a little bit. And I think there's nothing wrong with a woman. And I was watching a review that Married 10 Years did, and I think she was saying like how women, like Alexis is doing the things that appeal to men, but that it doesn't really appeal to me. You know, like certain things like being agreeable, you know, being open, listening to me. But like if your character if I'm looking for somebody that I want to love and be in a relationship with, then character is important to me. And if your character is one of where you kind of hide your hand, you kind of like throw a rock and then you kind of hide your hand. And I think she just does that a little bit. And that's going to seep over in our relationships. She also, you know, women that have tough times getting along with other women, also there's a part of that where you're just going to struggle in relationships too. You know, you need to have a balance. Just like men, if every single one of their friends are women, y'all are going to struggle. You know, you need to have balance. And for me, when I look at Alexis, it's just something, the things that she does just rub me the wrong way. And I think in their little interaction, both her and Chaz, I'm sorry, you know, I know he's in the internet waves, but he just gives me performative. He can be very performative sometimes. And even when they had that conversation and he was like, oh, you should have told me, I would have protected you. Bro, just please, come on, give me a break. You know, just like you were trying to help Koshia in that instance, right? You were trying to help your boy out, so how are you going to protect her too when she's actually on the opposing end of exactly what you were advocating for? So for me, I'm like, bro, you could have saved that. You know, just save you're going to help everybody. You're going to throw your cape on and you're going to save the day for everyone. You can't save everyone. Some people have to just fall to the prey of whatever circumstances they land in.
JR, talk to me.
Yeah, I think I can see why Chaz is at the top. You know, like he has a charm about him that like endears him to all the ladies so far. But I think his care for Koshia, I think that was kind of weird because that wasn't necessarily one of his connections. And I know he may have been trying to be a stand-up guy and try and defend her, but I think it was performative in front of Vanessa at the time. And the other ladies were present. I said that before, but I definitely still stand by that. However, I do think Alexis is definitely trying to land the big fish. I think she knows that because Chaz is favored by a lot of the ladies. If she lands him, if she ever landed that kiss or whatever she was looking for, then she would have happily gone back and bragged about that in the ladies' lounge, right? So I think he did well by avoiding that situation. It didn't look like they were going to kiss, in my opinion. I didn't see any type of vibes that looked like they're even getting close, nose to nose, or anything like that. In fact, there was quite a bit of distance between them. It wasn't an intimate date like that. But that just exposed to me that she was looking to collect something from that date in order to go back to the ladies with. So she's quickly alienating the rest of her cohort. I don't think that's going to be a good idea. I did take note of last week when she was in that situation with Justin. Like when she was getting hugged and all that stuff in front of everyone, she felt uncomfortable. The ladies were cheering. None of them really defended her or stuck up for her or anything. So I think they've really kind of nailed her to the mast and said that she's a snake. I don't think they like her. So the only thing that's going to kind of save her is if she does land someone like Chaz, and that will be the saving grace out of all of this for her.
Great points. I love it. Go for it, Glenn.
I think she's dating by numbers. I think she's taking information that she learned from the women's meeting or with the women with Tommy and realized, okay, she's a smart lady. She's like, okay, here is I know nobody likes Will. They have an issue with Jonathan. Who can I connect with to keep me here a little bit longer, right? Who can I know these two guys may be on the chopping block. These two guys may be out of here soon. Because again, the deliberation they were having, you know how many people voted for Will that don't like Will. You already know how many people don't like Jonathan. So now she's thinking, okay, let me find latch on to somebody else. I kind of differ. I saw there was a moment that, and Chad said this is one thing that he picked up on, that I picked up on. He said, he told her, he said, I like you too, or something to that effect, right? And I don't know if that was cut, whatever case may be, but he was like, I like you too. I was there. So he was liking a conversation. Now, he may like the numbers because, again, the more numbers you have, the longer you get to stay, right? You have a lot more people in your, I think from years ago, was Calfani a couple years ago, the Houston season, where he had everybody stacked up. Everybody was liking Calfani. So when you have the numbers, you can stay. Is there something between them? I didn't see it. I thought it was a lot more of her trying to get something between them two than what it really is. And I think she's playing it. I think she's playing a game. What we saw on TV, how it looks like, and what it feels like. I think she's playing a game to get somebody else to keep her around a little bit longer. She's messy. Go back to the Koshia situation. If I'm getting to know you and I'm on a date with you, I'm not bringing up anybody else in this competition. We're not talking about anybody else. I don't care who your number one is. I don't care who your 1B is. I don't care who your 1A is. We're dating, and I'm dating exclusively to talk about you. I want to get to know you. And I think as a guy, that would have turned me off. Like, why are we talking about her, right? And for you to say, oh, yeah, this happened in the lounge, you're going against the code again because he don't need to know what happened in the lounge. He doesn't need to understand it. And then Chaz brings up, well, he tried to defend Koshia because he was like, she had a rough night or she had a rough time at a pajama party, which that was a noble thing to do, explaining that she had a rough time at the pajama party, but then goes on to say, I'll defend you too. You can't do both, right? You can't defend one if they're going against each other. So it's like both of them are playing a game, and I don't see a real chemistry that's there. And Alexis is trying to save herself because she knows the two guys that she really have a connection with maybe out the door sooner than later. So hopefully it's real, and we'll see how it goes in the next couple of weeks. But it didn't come off well on television, and it just didn't come off well. Like there really was a solid connection, and I don't see nowhere in the world where it was going to kiss. And go to Chaz's answers. His answer is great because he already know that she has loose lips. He knew he couldn't kiss her if he wanted to kiss her, right? Because he knew that if I kiss her, then all my other women would know that I just kissed this girl and my play is over. So I can't do that. I can't kiss her because, again, you know who has loose lips. You know who information travels through. And so he's smart enough to know, so you know what? I can't do anything that will put me in jeopardy of being out of here.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it, Sue. I love these points, man.
Yeah, I'm struggling here to try to figure out, what else I can add. I mean, I love it when we have something to disagree on, but today I guess is not the day because this was just very black and white. It's very black and white. I do think Chaz was feeling her appearance, her vibe. He mentioned liking her outfit, liking her hair. I think she's attracted to him as well. But as far as it going farther than that, I'm not sure. But she has every incentive in to try to make it work, which I still don't understand. And maybe I would have to go through the process, or maybe Aries can speak on this. But I just, for the life of me, no matter how long we've been reviewing this show, I don't know, outside of just like a pride thing, right? Like not wanting to lose, for your pride's sake, which I do understand that. What is the incentive of attaching yourself on national TV to a man for the sake of winning, especially as a woman, when all that's going to do is mess up your ability to move around when the show is over? I just don't really understand that. I would pick the Laylene route, honestly. That's the route I would have picked. That was a very smart way. I mean, I hope everything's fine with her family, but if it wasn't, that's okay too. Not being all right with her family, but if that wasn't the issue, I'm okay with that too, because if you seeing that ain't nothing on there, ain't nothing hitting on nothing, then I would just bounce as well. I don't really get Alexis's motive, like trying to latch on to Chaz now just for the sake of latching on, because Will and Jonathan are now gone. But I also just don't like attention to that degree, and I don't I don't want that type of attention, so maybe this is not for me to understand. But we already talked about it. Alexis's need to bring up other women is very annoying. And I really hope that she's watching this show and realizing that she, has some work to do, because she started off, I think in so many of our books, we thought she had the most chill vibe. We thought she was so pretty. She seemed like she would be one of the people that like the tomboys would like I would like the pretty girls would like she just seemed like she was a vibe. Her personality has tanked her quicker than I've ever seen a woman tanked on this show. She is just giving ick all the way around. I don't know why, but she's moving through this show like she ain't got nothing else to offer than being a chatty patty and being a pick me. And I don't understand that. I don't understand that. She disappoints me every episode. So
I gotta
She
give her
said
some
she was
grace on that though.
competitive. I mean, she said she was very competitive. So this is one of those things, and I think that if everybody hates her, it's just another way to win. And people do want to be. They want screen time. So I don't know if that's her motivation, but I know that is one of the parts that people feel like they're winning because you're still being talked about or whatever, for whether it's good or bad, which is kind of crazy because I don't want the negative stuff. But she says she is all about the competition, so maybe that's her motivation.
but competing for men is hustling backwards. That's the crazy part. Like competing for a man doesn't really work. I get it. Like if we're playing, I don't care. Like the way the NBA just went out there and played that garbage all-star game, I could never. I would be Dame going for 40, because I can't pull up and not give my best. But when it comes to like relationships, competing for a man is legit hustling backwards, because that's really not the way things should go. So
I don't think she's really. I mean, she's using them to compete, but I don't think she's really compete. She don't want. I don't think she want any of these dudes. Real talk. But I think it's about, okay, y'all heifers don't like me. I'm gonna take all y'all dudes. Like it could be some savagery like that, right? Like, all right, cool. Now I'm about to one by one get all y'all men, and then we're gonna see what y'all talking about at the end. So I could see where it's just pure, just competitiveness, not because she really wants these dudes. She's just using them to get to whatever it is that she's trying to get. That's just my thoughts on that, though.
that's
But
probably
I
right.
agree with you. We don't compete over men.
No, you're probably right. That's different, but that's probably what's
I think
going
she's just
on. So
trying to compete to stay around, but I do think she got a bad rap in the women's lounge though. With the whole Will situation. I do give her that grace. I think that wasn't a loose slip moment when she's trying to dismiss him. She was just sharing again. And he never said Patrice's name. So again, he did his own investigation on that situation. I hope I'm not jumping the gun, but um, I don't think that she gets the rap for being a loose lip person, because everything she says comes back to her. Now we know she's not the only one talking, but her stuff is just more vile than anybody else's. And the people that she's associating herself with, and the people that she's doing it to, is being hurtful, or being hurt by what she says. So, but she's not competing, but I think she just wants to stay on the show a little bit longer.
Yeah, listen, I'll be honest with you. I think obviously with Alexis and Chaz's situation, I see Chaz in the chat as well. Shout out to Chaz as well. But I mean, he told us that some people's opinions don't really matter. So, but anyway, obviously, with Chaz and Alexis, I do feel like Alexis first and foremost. I don't know what the heck was going on. Mentioning Koshia up, that was just nuts. I don't know. I can't lie to you. Shout out to Alexis. I think we follow each other on Insta, and I think she's cool. But that was just a nuts moment. I just don't understand why she brought up the Koshia situation. Maybe it's editing, some other questions that were asked. I don't know why she brought up Kashia. Like, to say she didn't like her. It's like, sis, you didn't need to say that. You should just get your mouth shut. It's not a smart way to play the game. If they brought up the Kashia, I'm not happy that I'm happy that she got. Oh, it's like, no, Alexis, leave it alone. Trust me, leave it alone. Especially when you don't really know what alliances people have, and also because he already had said, you know what, he was a little bit kind of sad that she went. I was like, then you don't need to say anything. You just need to keep quiet, like, you know what, I hear you, yeah, and keep it moving. But anyway, that's my personal thoughts for her game playing aspect, I guess. But then obviously Chaz and Alexis and how they dealt with each other. I think Chaz is he's a little bit of a playboy. You know what I mean? He likes to play. Okay, all right, and he's well and truly playing. But obviously, I'm not saying he's done anything mad or anything, but he's well and truly playing. I didn't know him and Kashia were that close enough for him to even feel sad that she went. But clearly he was very close. Hence why I guess the Laurent situation played out the way it played out. Anyway,
You gotta
any other
make sure
thoughts on that?
you gotta make sure you interview Chaz, because I don't know what the hell's going on in the chat. I wasn't paying attention, but I guess we got it all wrong. So I look forward to getting it all right. I don't know what was wrong.
Did we get it all wrong? What did we get wrong?
I actually have no idea.
Everything.
Apparently everything. I wasn't looking at the chat for once, so I have no idea what was wrong. Maybe him being a people pleaser. I don't know what was even said about him. I don't even remember what y'all said about the man. I don't even remember. What we say about him?
I mean, at this point, and I kind of said this to him in there, it's like, you can't, it's a part of it. Like, we're not going to know all the answers. And then when you get a chance to speak on it, you get to share it, but it's only off of what we see right now.
And this is why you come up here for an interview.
There's
no point typing in the chat and you won't come for an interview because, Chaz, I appreciate you, but, we did see that you say, certain bloggers, you felt some way about them. This is the opportunity to come on when you do an interview. You can tell you what you got to say. You know what I'm saying? That's why you come on an interview and you say your piece and maybe put us in our place. That's what I say. So if you're out there,
what gets me, though, as a person like who's been on the show and you hear people talk about it, nobody knows you. Like, so it's just a show that people watch. You cannot take that stuff personal. Like, if you're confident in who you are, you have to know that the people in the comments, the chats, and they are a lot. Like, especially if they're going in all those Facebook groups and all that stuff. Don't even listen to the stuff if you're going to be, taking it serious. Like, it's not, these people don't know who you are or what's going on in your day-to-day life. So it don't matter. Shouldn't be that much energy.
Well, y'all saying he's defending himself. I'm being very sincere. Against what? Like, what part? If y'all know, I'm just interested. I'm curious.
It's not just the panel, though. It's the comment.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to relitigate it.
No.
And I think at the end of the day,
I can't even relitigate it, Sean. I don't remember it being litigated first. That's why I was asking the question.
No, I mean, because who knows? He didn't say. But I think people always struggle with this, and it just happens to be. There's also in real life where somebody will tell you you're rude, and you're like, I'm not a rude person. Well, that is how people perceive you. So you might be wrong. You might feel like people are wrong, but at the end of the day, this is a collective, different group of opinions, and people are going to have a perception of your actions. You may know yourself, but you also don't know how sometimes people perceive your actions. That might not be your intent to be performative, but that's how it may come off. That might not be your intent to be a playboy, but that's how it's reading when we're watching it on the screen.
Don't matter.
Don't matter.
Shut up for Janelle for that, man. She's giving us unlimited
that
for that one.
Forever.
That is the best line. That is legit the best line.
I'll be wanting to use it with other people. I'm like, they're not gonna get it.
Yeah, but Aries, you're a good one. You're a good one to kind of talk about that, because I try to be aware, because I know being on this channel is 5% of what y'all have gone through in the Facebook groups and this and that, and the amount of things that people have said about us, or the stories that they run with, or they'll come up with that we beefing off of one thing. Like, people just come up with stuff, and it's very annoying.
I left the group because I was like, this is crazy. It gets real crazy and wild. Like, you have to know how far people will go into their mind. Like people will be diagnosing you and coming up with you probably didn't have a dad. Like it's just it goes crazy. So if you're not secure, you will definitely if somebody gonna hit one of them buttons, that is loose, that probably need a little more, honing in on when you come on something like this. I think it's not for everybody to be criticized, but it definitely will get you prepared for the rest of your life. So he said he's not bothered, but
Well, if Chaz is there, like by all means, reach out to me. We'd love to have you on the on the interview, and have a one-to-one with yourself as well. All right. I know
You're
you
gonna have
love
to
to
get
chat.
thicker skin before that, because them interview comments are the worst ones. These be the light ones. The
We
interview
gotta find
comments.
out. They would toast people up.
Oh
You know what
my,
I
they
mean?
toast people for fun in those comments. I don't know where those people come from. They don't be on these videos, but don't let the interview come out. They go crazy.
Nah, it's a safe place, Chaz. It's a safe place. It's a safe environment. By all means, reach out to me, and we'd love to have a one-to-one with yourself. If not, not a problem at all. Do enjoy the chat, as always. So obviously, Chaz and Alexis, that's done. Anyone else? Any other thoughts on that particular aspect of Chaz and Alexis? Any other thoughts on there? Well, since we are talking about Alexis, obviously she had a situation with Jonathan. Jonathan actually apologized behind the scenes and then apologized on screen towards the end as well. How are we feeling about that topic now, and how are we feeling about that situation now? It's been a week or so, and how RTL kind of handled it. How are we finding that situation now? How are we looking at that situation between Jonathan and Alexis? Because they talked about it a little bit, but didn't necessarily go all the way there. So what's you guys' thoughts on that aspect? Who would like to jump in there first? Yes, Sean, go for it.
And this is the part that aggravated me with her. And perhaps she'll say it's editing or whatever. But in all the other interactions, when she was sitting in front of Will, she gave him so many examples. She gave so much details. But when she's talking to Jonathan, she downplayed the fact that she was bothered by what he did. And that was a part of the reason that he got eliminated. The part that we heard was, you okay with me. But meanwhile, in the lounge, she's sharing that the comment, though he apologized, the situation still bothered her. So I don't like that she did that, because it seemed like she was very detail oriented with Will, sharing all the nitty gritty about him sleeping on a cot or whatever he was doing. But she left out some very convenient details about herself. So that's the part that I don't like. And that's when I referenced, the hiding, throwing a rock and hiding your hand, because at the end of the day, why are you making it seem like you two are all right when you really didn't like his behavior? And she, I'm not saying she had to nail him, but at the end of the day, she should have kept it clear. I appreciate the apology, I accept it, but it still did bother me, and I think you're not ready to love. Me and the other ladies felt da 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 da, and this is why. But all of a sudden, she conveniently forgot those details. So
Yeah, and what confuses me was that she started crying. Like you crying because you had to eliminate the guy who embarrassed you, because she felt some type of way because they had this conversation off camera or off. They had the phone conversation where he apologized for what he did, and even when at the table when she apologized again, she still felt some type of way. But I still couldn't understand the tears. What was it for? That you still genuinely liked him, or that when you eliminated him, or you felt like, okay, this is my safety valve that is leaving? Um, if you're hurt by somebody and you get the opportunity to address it, I think at that point you should address it. Tell them how you really feel. You know what? I feel this. I felt like you embarrassed me. I felt like you treated me a certain type of way in front of other people. It was embarrassing to me, my reputation as a woman. Whatever case may be, share it, but don't laugh it off because you're willing to, like you said, Kat had her tongue when it came to Jonathan, but nothing had her tears. And I was confused. Maybe somebody can help me in the chat, or somebody here help me. What was she crying for? What was the tears for? I didn't get that part, and I was still haven't gotten that part. Why did she cry when she had to eliminate Jonathan? I just was confused.
It was given
Yeah,
fake. It was given very performative, very fake, very clear. I kind of touched on that earlier. Like, she's good at playing the game. I mean, it's working in her favor of what she's trying to do, the point. But people like that scare me in real life. Like, you get the way you say something to one person when you're translating information, it makes a difference. Like, that's the type of stuff I'm a stickler for. Like, if I said to you, something about Kojo, that I will say to Kojo's face, right? But I'm saying it to you. And when you tell Kojo, you're like, and she said it like this, and you add extra emphasis or whatever, I'm going to be irritated because it's like now you made them think a different way. And you could tell even when Alexis was delivering the information to Will, she was like, something about you sleeping on the floor. Girl, you know exactly what she said specifically. So when you said it to him about sleeping on the floor, something about sleeping on the floor, and then now I'm so sad that I'm having to eliminate you. I just was like, I get bothered by that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know if there was like some money on the line at the end, I might be all right with you doing whatever you got to do to get there. But this, mm-mm. I didn't like the messiness of it. And it's a lot of messiness, with this stuff because people do start getting strategic and alliances and all that. And she knows she has a target on her back. So I think she feel like she's like, I gotta get it however I gotta get it. And it's all competition. But there's just some stuff I'm like, I'm not about to sit here and play like this. So I don't know. I just feel like she's willing to go some places that I wouldn't personally.
yeah. I think Jonathan realized that he did too much, and unfortunately, he can't take that back. Like, it was in front of everybody as well. So I think um, that's why it was a valid reason to send him home. Maybe that's not the only reason. Obviously, there would have been more, but I don't think he would have been able to recover from that. And I think, as I said before, Alexis, she's trying to lock down a connection or um, get something to go back to the ladies' lounge with for not necessarily bragging rights, but to feel good about still being in the process now that she does have all the animosity in the ladies' lounge with the other ladies there. So I couldn't understand the tears either. She barely knows him, like just like the rest of the guys. So I'm not sure how invested she really is. Like, it's kind of confusing because I would have expected tears if there was like a real genuine length of time spent together, or they're talking outside the show extensively, going on dates maybe outside the show. But from what I've seen, I struggled to see why she was so emotionally invested at that time. But I can understand her feeling uncomfortable about what took place, and I can understand why he would feel genuinely apologetic because he definitely went too far with what he did.
Love it. I mean, personally, I felt like she probably felt a little bit sad. I think she did really like Jonathan, but unfortunately, he had to go. That's why I felt like production got involved. It was like, listen, you got one of two ways. We can do this the hard way or the easy way. He gotta go. Like, after doing what he did, we can't edit in the way that he got to go. So, sis, send him on his merry way. He gonna be one of the two, and you gonna be the one to do it. So, yeah, it's a sad situation that's come about that particular way. We never want to see those kind of things happen. Yeah, I felt like, at least he apologized. At least he got round to apologize and apologized twice, did it off camera, on camera, as well. I think that's really important as well to repair. I think Owen missed an opportunity here for an educational piece. I feel like every time this happens and we don't educate, we're just liable to make more situations like this, right? And we've had several situations like this. This could have been an educational piece. They could have done a whole section. They could have done an exclusive, whatever, as a side note piece, of educating men on consent, right? And this could have been a conversation between Jonathan and what you call it, and I don't know why it's got names going in my head. The host, they could
Tommy.
have had thank you, Tommy. Could have been a conversation, or could have a conversation between Tommy and the men, and just having a conversation about consent, and it would have been an educational piece, but also as well something that will help people as well in terms of dealing with the opposite sex. I think it's just an opportunity that can be missed when we do that, rather than just eliminating him. It's almost like we're just gonna get rid of the problem rather than actually educating people. And I think that could have been done. So yeah, go for it, Glenn. You want to say something?
No, I just was curious. I mean, did anybody else think it was weird that she was the one that eliminated him? I mean, I think when you said something, it just triggered my mind. Like, that made me think, okay, is this production making her eliminate him because of the incident? Does she get some type of closure, some type of, I get to a one up? I mean, I'm not sure, Eric, you probably can help us out. How is that process? I'm without getting, what that determined? Who determines who eliminates who? Because I'm like, all the people that could have eliminated Jonathan, she's the one that did it.
They've been kind of savage with the eliminations from the beginning. It's like they're letting the people who have issues with the person eliminate them. They've been doing that since Lamar with April with, like each person is like eliminating the person that they have issues with. But yeah, you don't really have a choice. It's definitely somebody telling you that you're about to go eliminate somebody. So you don't usually know or get to choose whether you get to do it or not. So
I will say I didn't,
I think
not to say for her, but I do think it's a little weird that she had that type of issue with him. It's kind of inappropriate actually that she is the one to eliminate him if she had the type of issue with him. She may not have felt comfortable enough to explain fully what was going on. I mean, huh?
I was gonna say it could be a cover up type of situation where it's like, see, she was cool, no issues, guys, no
That's
liability.
probably production trying to cover it up because she knows she has the issue. Now, why is she crying? I don't know. Maybe mixed emotions, but she knows she has the issue. But regardless, he was going home anyway because he's being weird, and everybody know he's with his ex-wife, baby mama. I think that's the big undercurrent that's going on that's not being talked about. It seems like everybody on that show knows he's still with that lady. So he was going to go home anyway.
I think a difficult situation for her would have been if they had her eliminate William. Like, then I maybe could have understood why there would be tears to an extent, because she clearly has been sharing a lot more information with him, talking to him more, and things like that. Probably a bit more of a connection there. So, but I just couldn't understand it with Jonathan. William, I could have understood, but not Jonathan.
Any other thoughts, guys, before we move on? Sean's contemplating, so I'm wondering. No? Alright, cool. Let's move on from then. Let's talk, obviously, since we're talking about Jonathan as well, we gotta talk about Jonathan and Will and Rasheen, their date, because it was an interesting date, let's say. Jonathan didn't want to open up. Will was here blasting Rashina with questions for the alliance. What a waste of a date, in some sense. What's you guys and ladies, what's your thoughts on this situation? What's your thoughts on this? How did you guys
Waste
and
of a
ladies
date.
see it?
That's all I got to say.
yeah,
Complete waste of a date.
very productive.
I hear that, Siwe. Aries?
Ditto. It was like she said she don't have no connection with Will. I hate when they do that. It's like, this girl don't got no connection. But also I think they do that because, and I'm starting to pick up on it on this season watching it, they do that to give a reason at the end. of why these people are going home. Like when Lamar went on that date with Maya, what the hell are you doing on this date with Maya? Anyways, we need another bad date out of you so we can add that to the list when we go to the ladies' lounge of how terrible you were. And then that's another reason why you're getting kicked off. So those dates that seem like a waste is just another way to get you to talk more and be just to suck more, basically.
Yep, I hear that. The reason indeedy. The reason indeedy. JR, why are you laughing? Go for it.
No, I won't say why I'm laughing, but I'll just say that the date was a pointless date because there's no connections there between them like that. I didn't get anything from that at all. So I think it was just a filler date, really. Maybe they had some loose ends and had some time and had to put some people together, but nothing in the way of a connection with any of this group. And I don't really see Rashida having a connection other than Justin at the moment. And even then, it's still early. Maybe because that was the first date that he had when he came on. But yeah, I won't say she's boring. There's still time, but I'll need to see more, and we'll probably only see more when she actually has a better connection with the guys that she's put on dates with.
Appreciate it, JR. Go for it, Glenn.
Yeah, I mean, you guys said everything. I think this date was a waste of time. I think Jonathan could have gave just a little bit more, but he didn't want to be there. What he said, I don't like women who smoke. I mean, you can't get any basic than that. That was basic. He wasn't trying to get any deeper because they don't have a connection. Her and Will never had a connection. If it was Chad, I think she said she had a Chad. Her connections are Chaz and Justin, right? Those two should have been on a date with her to see how that flies or how it goes, and so they can get more information on her, their non-negotiables. Not two guys that you don't like. And then Will with the firing off of questions. Like, what is this, an interview? It's not an interview process. You just firing stuff off just to fire things off. And he brought up something too. I think Will brought up something to her. I wrote it down. I think it was
Jesus.
Yeah, he said Jesus. Yeah, Jesus was his non-negotiable. He rocked Jesus and Hennessy.
Jesus and Hennessy.
Or something of that nature.
Very unserious.
Yeah. So it was just bad. It wasn't serious at all. That's what it was. Will mentioned LeBron, right? Why he was that's what made me like, dang, why you bring another again? Why are you bringing somebody else up on your date with a person that you try to be with? He was being messy when he talked about LeBron, like, who's your least connected person? And she answered the question like, LeBron. Like, why would you even answer? Why would you even entertain that? Why would you even ask that question? First of all, if you're trying to be in tune with her and get to know her, I'm not bringing up nobody else. Like, I don't care who our least connection is. Let me find out where my connection's at. So that lets you know there's a little tiff and a little beef in that and between those two. If you to keep asking her, hey, who's your least connection? He just want to hear her say it. That it was LeBron. So he's playing games. And that's why he got sent home, for playing games.
I hear it. Sean?
Yeah, I don't know if I have a whole lot more to add. Just that she kind of was vacillating back and forth between she's natural, but she likes makeup and wigs and eyelashes and all that other stuff. So I really couldn't like pin down what her stance was because it seemed like it was floating. Because first she said she's into all the things and all this other stuff, and then she was like, "But I could be natural and I could do this and I could do that, and if my man wants me to be that." Yeah, that started to kind of get like, all right, so which one is it? Who are you really? And just let us know. Just let us know which one it was. She doesn't seem problematic by any means, but I just want to know who you are. That's all.
Listen, I hear you on this still. I hear you. So, what's your guys' thoughts on Jonathan not being open though? You know, I know it's a waste of a date, but what was your thoughts on Jonathan not being open? You know, since he has clearly not been so open throughout the course of the episode two. I'm sorry, the episodes as well. In some cases, what's your thoughts there? Yes, Sean.
Yeah, I think yeah, I heard Seaway's opinion. That could be true too. Maybe he's still with his ex. I as a guy watching him, I think more of what that is, it's a fear of rejection and some past rejection that he's had that he doesn't want to relive because he said, what's the point? What's the point of opening yourself up and then it doesn't work out? So for me, that's somebody having that fear of being vulnerable, fear of somebody getting to know them, and then them being rejected. And that happens to guys. And a lot of times we internalize it, and then it comes off in us shutting down and being afraid to open that part of us up again, so that it doesn't happen again. So that's what I saw from that, is him just running from that rejection, running from that hurt, whatever hurt he had, and not wanting to relive it. So he's shutting down, which makes him not ready to love because he's got to deal with that and not run away from it.
I saw something
I agree
different,
with.
man. Oh, go ahead, JR.
Yeah, I was gonna say I agree with Sean. Thank you, Jet. Thank you, Glenn. Yeah, like I agree with that because he said in the confessional he don't see the point in opening up to people that he doesn't connect with. Like he's not doing that. Like he made a point of saying that specifically. So I definitely feel like there's a part of him that doesn't want to open up, also a fear of rejection, and also a sense of he doesn't want to waste time gassing someone up, giving too much of himself when it isn't going to lead to anything. So in my view, he's not ready to love. He's not vulnerable enough. So again, another reason to send him home.
I looked at it, he didn't want to open up around Will. Again, I think on a one-on-one setting, he might have been more comfortable to open up, but you have another guy sitting next to you and you're on a date with this young lady or Sheena, whether you wanted to or not. I don't want to open up with him because, again, rumors have been going around that dude got loose lips. What else can people say about me? What else is going to go forward about me or around about me? And I don't want to give you all my information. You guys already know that I've been married. I already know that I have kids. What else do you want to know, right? And I don't trust the people. If I don't trust the people that I'm around, I'm not going to open up to you, all right? So he didn't trust the people that he around. He didn't trust Rashina. He didn't trust Will. And guess what? I'd rather leave and then say deuces than open up and then find out the stuff that I open up about, get around town or get around the group or get around the circle. And I think that's when we talk about men are not going to open up in a room with whoever if they don't trust them. All right. It's just one of those things. If I can't trust you to keep what I say, we're not opening up. And I think that's one of the big reasons why Jonathan was like, you know what? I'm not doing this, deuces.
Definitely hear that. Not a safe space, and especially if the facial expressions and the body language are saying something completely different and not showing an inviting presence, you're not going to want to open up with somebody. So that's a key part as well. So, I mean, to be fair, the question was a simple question. I don't know why you couldn't answer it. It was, what's your non-negotiables? Not the deepest question at all. Doesn't require you to expose yourself. Doesn't require you to say the most deepest, profoundest comment in regards to that. He just didn't want to say and chose to shut down at that point in time, probably because he felt like it probably was a production date. But either way, like they said, this is one of those dates they use to kind of show people the storyline that they got to go. So unfortunately, that was what they used for him, and he got to go. Him and Will. And Will obviously asking questions. I don't know if anyone had any thoughts on that. And Will kind of, Will kind of chopping down Rasheen with the machine gun technique of questions. He was like one after the other, after the other. Has anyone got any thoughts on the Will questioning in that particular sense? JR looks ready. Go for it, JR. You look ready. I love it.
Yeah, this is a strategy that never works, and I'll call it out every time. Like, you can't go and interrogate people trying to find out what was said and who said what, because it makes you like you're insecure. Like, if someone has that opinion, yes, it is bad for them to go back and kind of tarnish your name in the group or whatever. But we saw it last season, seeing it this season, we've seen it before. It's never a good idea. It never works out well. So I'm not sure why people continue to do it. He seems overly sensitive about the fact that he claims, he's a millionaire. He might be, but you don't have to, prove it to everybody. Like, what you're doing. You're not connecting with the ladies anyway. So if that's the perception they have, leave them to it. So I didn't agree with him going on the warpath and the interrogations. And like I always say, like, interrogations will always get someone's back up anyway. Like, if you want to really get information or learn something about someone, have conversations. And conversations and interrogations are completely different things. Some people don't differentiate between the two, but they're completely different. So, like, he came across as very insecure, and that didn't add anything in his favor with the ladies.
And he knows that Rashina doesn't like him. That's already been established at the basketball date when she was like, I'm not picking either one of y'all. Talking to him and Lamar. So I think also on that same kind of the same energy as Jonathan, it's like, why are we on this date? No point of pouring a lot into it, but I'll ask some questions, thinking that you're just gonna bombard her with questions so that you don't get any questions. I think that was just a controlling, mechanism for him to just like take over the date, even though it was her date where she should have been asking more questions. But I think he probably knew. They both probably knew they were going home. Like, once you kind of narrow it down, you start counting people. You're like, okay, so like, who do they got, and who's gonna vote for them? So I think they probably knew that, and it's like, well, I'm gonna go out, at least with a little bit more control than otherwise. It's like the energy just wasn't there, and we felt it because we felt it was a boring date. But yeah, I think he just was trying to have some kind of control before his last meal.
Yeah. One thing I caught was that he's looking for somebody to support him. I don't know how many times he hasn't said that. He's always looking for support from the woman. That he needs that support or that affirmation to say that you're doing great, that you're doing a good job, that you're doing well, and that you are achieving things. And that's one of the things that one of the questions that caught me, like, are you willing to support the person that you're with, or the non-negotiable? I need somebody to support me, and that's if you're holding it down and you're doing what you're supposed to be, they're going to be there for you. And I think he wants to continue to make himself bigger than what he really is. It'll be interesting to see, when he's eliminated, what else he talks about, because it seemed like it's all about him. He's self-centered, and it's always about him and what he has and what everybody else don't have, and how hard he worked and how hard. Sometimes you have to tell people how hard you work. Sometimes people see it. People see it. You don't have to tell people you're a millionaire. You just do what you normally do, and just let the chips fall where they may. And when you lead with that, you try to make up for something, in my opinion.
Definitely hear that. Any last points on that situation with Will, Rasheen, and Jonathan? No? All right, cool. Obviously, there was a date between between William and Vanessa, Patrice, and Alonso. And quite interesting, actually, watching the four of them go at it, especially with the fact that William was saying to Vanessa, listen, I've texted you, and he realized he had the wrong number. I mean, it does happen, from time to time, you get the wrong number. You thought you were messaging someone, they message you back. It be like that, you know what I mean? So yeah, I wanna get your thoughts and opinion on that particular situation between the awesome foursome, which actually really was more of a triple threat. Yes, Sean, go for it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was me, but Vanessa looked like something stank the whole time during that date. She seemed like she just really had an attitude. And I think like she just maybe needs to kind of like fix her face a little bit when you realize, if you're in an environment you don't like, her face just said it all. She seemed super annoyed with William when to me it seemed like an honest mistake. She was like, "What did the text say? Let's see the number. You forgot the two, idiot." Like she didn't call him an idiot, obviously, but that was like just the look of disgust on her face. She seemed highly annoyed with him. And I'm like, sis, like, why you, why you just being so mean? She just seemed really mean. Then I think she didn't like the fact that I guess she wasn't getting the brunt of the attention. She was like, it just seems like I'm a fly on the wall. I'm just the third wheeler here. Well, how about you incorporate yourself into the conversation? Be nicer, throw out a couple of things, say, like just be engaging. She just didn't I didn't, and that's not how I've seen her. Maybe she was showing it and I wasn't paying attention, but she just seemed a little bit more irritated, agitated during this whole date.
Definitely
a
hear
conundrum.
us. Go for it, CJ.
Vanessa's a conundrum. I think I said this 2 weeks ago. I'm saying it today. I don't really understand Vanessa. I think she probably was just annoyed that she was put on that date at all, and a lot of that annoyance probably went towards William. That's my assumption because everything she said, or even when they figured out the number situation, like Sean said, she was still annoyed. I don't think she wanted to be there. And her saying that her deal breaker is about the working out was just complete cap. Complete cap. I said this before. She was doing back bend splits and everything on that board and didn't fall off into the water. I think it's to the very end. She's very active. She's clearly flexible. She's doing yoga. She's doing something. She looks very nice. She has 2 kids. She clearly is in the gym doing something. Or if it's not the gym, she in yoga, she in Pilates. So her deal breakers were not the gym. She's just saying anything. I think she just was annoyed to be on that date. That's what it was.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I agree with Seaway there. Yeah, I agree with Seaway. I was gonna say, like, she does yoga. Like, she clearly demonstrated on the yoga board that health and fitness is something she does do in some regard. So that deal breaker with William didn't make no sense to me either. Especially as she put emphasis on the time that he's going to spend in the gym. Like, he can be there for an hour and still come home. Like, I doubt he spends all day there because he got 3 kids to take care of. So I think that was just a cop out, just a way to eliminate him because she ain't feeling him for whatever reason. And that stink face alone, that would have made me just not want to talk to her, like, period. Because her, like, there's a way to, if you're not feeling someone, there's a nice way to let them know. And I think that stink face was intentional, and probably she may not even realize that she did it. I may give her some grace, but like, that would have just made me be like, nah, man, her attitude's off. So I wouldn't want to talk to her after that, personally. She definitely doesn't open up. We've spoken about some of the guys not opening up, like Jonathan. She doesn't open up enough for them to endear themselves to her. Only Chaz so far that she feels comfortable with, because she stayed behind after everybody left at his house. So maybe she's got her eye on Chaz and nobody else at this point.
100% agree that she is all about Chaz. She does not want to be there. She does not like William. He's not reading the energy, clearly. Because even if you get a number from someone who doesn't really want to give it to you, it kind of was like, oh, okay. Yeah, let me give you my number. And that was just, I felt bad for William in that moment, honestly, because he seems like a nice dude. And he was genuinely like, hey, she's like, what? her attitude, it was crazy. I was like, why did she discuss it? But I also understand that it could be so much that got her to that point of them sitting at that table. Like, you don't know what they've been through. So she looked a little bit lit, but also like, I really ain't trying to be on this date. Like, y'all got me out of my bed, and I'm not on a date that I've been asking y'all to be on, which is probably with Jazz. And he out here with all the girls except for Vanessa, which is who she wants to be on. So I kind of feel that. But yeah, I think she needs to work. For her to be a flight attendant, she's not really good with the customer care on her face. Like, there is a face of customer care, especially when you're customer facing. Like, you know how to fake it. So the fact that she is not giving none of that, and has not given any of that since she's been on the show. And I think I like her just because she's cute, honestly, at this point. We haven't really seen a lot of her to get much, but what we have is kind of like, we're not seeing her true light, which I think is there somewhere, but we might not see it unless she's with the person that she likes. So I think I'm hoping for her sake that she pulls something together next week during these friend dates or whatever, so that she can, move forward. But we'll see.
Aries, you must have met those American Airlines flight attendants. They're
What?
so.
I like them.
Exactly. Get Seaway cut
Y'all
out.
the only
We won't
two.
take any slander.
What?
Y'all the only two. Y'all the only two.
They are the best.
This
They
entire
don't
planet.
they don't charge me for my
Listen.
liquor half the time.
Y'all, even our one already love family, there's a lot of flight attendants, so I'm not saying which one. No. They're on my band. They're on my band list. Before you go, Sean,
I'm gonna tell you like Alexis told Koshia. That must be the energy you bring.
Oh, hell no! American Airlines is almost on a lot of people's band list. They are banned.
I be loving my American Airlines. They treat me well.
Push the button all the time,
even when I'm in domestic like sometimes. Even when I'm in my little domestic coach seat, they treat me nice there too. My economy.
Y'all must be rude right along with y'all. Y'all in good company. Maybe y'all rude.
No.
Maybe it's the status, Sean. Is it the gold?
It's it because they respect my mileage. So.
Right. They looked at that seat number and said, "Wait a minute, hold on, elite customer."
We get a little flag.
I'm gonna forget if I don't say this. I completely forgot. Poor Will.
Thank you, Rose.
Look, I got a whole team of people who cannot stand American Airlines, but it ain't about that right now. Poor William just needed somebody to talk sports with him. He asked Vanessa, he's like, "Do you play sports? You like sports? Did you grow up playing sports?" She was like, "No." I cried. He's over trying to bond with these people over basketball. William, I would have talked to you about basketball. That's all I sit around and talk about all day. Nobody wants to talk to me about it either. So I feel bad. He was trying to bomb her over sports, and she was like,
Vanessa said, "I don't give a damn."
She was like, "Yeah, exactly." She was like, "I ain't playing no sports. Do I look like I play sports?" I love that.
Damn, what you talking about? What? Like, that's like how her face looked. Like, what? Like one of her kids was bothering her.
You looked agitated by the question. Like, does it look like I bounced the basketball to you?
Right. Absolutely. Like, what number do you got? Let me see. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, no. You got it wrong, buddy. I was like,
I feel like too, it also doesn't bode well when you lock in on one person. I've never really seen that work out unless y'all decide to ride off in the sunset and leave the show for each other. But when you don't even try to move around a little bit, it don't work out. It rarely works out. So Vanessa, listen, you got to explore your options. I know she likes Chaz, but you got to get to know the other guys. Because I can, and maybe Chaz will correct us again, but I don't think she's going to end up with Chaz at the end. I don't think Chaz is going to be there, 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now, So move around, sis. Get to know the fellas. Expand your options. That's what I think.
How
I agree.
Ain't gonna be up there with Chaz. when we seen Chaz down there to that stage with LaRon. When I saw Chaz down there on that stage with LaRon, I don't know what stage it was.
What stage?
Where were they? They were somewhere, posted up somewhere.
Recently? Like out?
On
Like,
somebody's couch.
Huh? You talking about at the club? Were they at the club or something? Like,
Was
what
that
was
a
you talking
club?
about? Social media?
Was that a club?
I don't know. I'm
What
not
were they
sure what you're
doing?
talking about. What do you mean?
I'm gonna find it. He was somewhere.
I think it was
with
on
LaRon.
Kamisha.
Was that Kamisha's channel?
I think they both sat down with Kamisha. I think.
Yeah, they had an
Oh, maybe
interview
that's
with
what you're
her.
talking
I know they
about.
did an
Sure.
interview
Couch.
together. I
Oh,
think they
that
did
looked
an
like a
interview together.
stage.
Like, but
Thank you, JR. I'm like, am I crazy? Did I make that up? Okay, I thought they were on a stage at a club. I didn't know that was her channel. Okay, moving along.
Yeah, she done with my man. I mean, again, the whole gym situation I thought was funny. Like, if he works out, you can create a gym in the house, right? If you got an iWatch, you got an iPhone or iWatch, you can do workouts in front of your TV. You don't have to leave. I think her excuse was, well, let's have to spend time with me and the kids. How can we do that? Y'all can work out together. I think somebody mentioned Chaz works out. Go work out. I bet she'll work out with Chaz. You know, again, if you don't like the guy, don't like the guy. And she did look real awkward when she gave him her number. But I just kind of blame William for that. Because in this day and age, if you really like somebody and they give you a number, send them a text right then and there. Call them right then and there. Make sure you have the right number. See if the phone rings, the watch go off or something. Don't leave with the wrong number. That's on you.
He lied
That is-
yesterday, so he knows.
No,
Yeah,
Glenn,
yeah,
the
yeah.
ladies told us don't do that. That's kind of creepish. They don't. That we talked about that on Jay's channel, and the lady said they don't like that too
I'ma
much.
do it.
That's not creepish.
I'm
I'ma
sorry.
do it. I'ma do
I've been
it.
out the
It's
dating-
creepish when
I've
you're
been out the
ugly and they
dating
don't
for a
like
long
you.
time.
It
Sorry.
is so
Oh
creepy.
God, Gojo, don't get started.
I think it's creepy. Don't be calling the number as soon
If
as
you call
When you meet him ugly.
and be like, let me
now, do
make
you
sure this is the
see-
right number and
Hold
call
on,
you.
Aries. You see how
No,
he
but
brings it up? Kojo's the only one still bringing this up.
He send you a text. Just make
You
sure
notice
have the
how I
right
didn't
number.
use it as a compliment. I didn't use it as a compliment. I said when you meet him ugly, meaning you're ugly to somebody, it's not a compliment, then you are gonna get that. When you meet him ugly and you're ugly, whichever you want to call it, you're gonna get that treatment that you're creepy. When you're not and you are attractive to the other person, then you're not gonna get that energy.
Where Jay at?
Shoot.
It's not a compliment.
If you
or
ugly, I'm
insult.
not giving you my number anyway. So
There you go. See, Eris not even giving her number out.
She's not even
No.
giving the number up.
She ain't even
not
gonna
giving the
breathe
number
the
at
air
all.
you breathing. She like you taking up space. So, you know.
I told y'all Habibi chased me around the mansion trying to get my number, and I did
Not him
not
chasing
give
you
it to him
around.
at all.
Giving flashbacks.
Mary's like,
Gojo,
Mary's
cut
like,
it
I'm
out.
leaving.
Don't tell
Wasting my
yourself.
time.
Please don't tell on yourself.
I said, nope, nope. But no, I
Like,
think
not even wasting.
she don't like that man, and that was the funniest part. It definitely gave editing on that line about the kids and if he gonna have time. So I was like, I wonder if she actually said that, but that was crazy. Like for that to be the reason, his non-negotiable. You know, he say he like to work. Girl, I don't want to be rude, but I think we're okay with, you know, like it that's okay. Let's not just make up something. Just be like, no, you know, I see you more as a friend and leave it alone. But we're not gonna make the gym the reason.
Yeah, you're not my type, and I don't want to blend your kids with my kids. It's something like we don't want to be the Brady Bunch. I mean, anything you can say instead of the gym. Let's be real. Let's be real. Be honest. And plus, she felt some type of way that she was on a date with two guys that she has no interest in. Why
That
bring
was
me
the-
out on this date?
That was the issue, though. He thought that he potentially had a chance. Apparently, unfortunately,
But you know what I do nowadays?
He missed that shot.
This is what you give the person your phone to put your number in.
No, not you done cracked the code.
Yeah, because I was just thinking the last time I got somebody's number, I gave them my phone to put their number in. Because then that way I don't have what you say. Sometimes it's loud, you can't hear. Listen, I'm of a particular age, as Seaway says, you know, so I don't want my hand messing up a digit. My fingers are fat, so I don't want to miss a number. So you just put it in, and we're good.
That's good. That's good, Sean. That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Listen, my Cash App is locked, so
That's what I do though, Sean.
it's
'Cause I'll be
locked.
like, let me make sure my
So, and
number
I'm
is
standing right there. So if you're gonna be as bold enough to Cash App me in front of me, then you're a scam artist. So you're done.
Can I ask a
Now you-
question though? Have y'all noticed all the folks with kids keep linking up with the folks with no kids? Why the folks with kids don't want the folks with kids? What is going
Because they know
on?
what they like.
But every single
that's
couple,
sometimes that's common.
Vanessa got kids, Chaz ain't got no kids. Patrice got kids. Lonzo, do he have kids? I don't think so.
No.
Then you got Rashina got kids. Poor Justin ain't got no kids.
Poor Justin.
And then who else? Then you got Dominique Crazy Self, don't got no kids, but he chasing Mika. What is going on?
Why you gotta be crazy?
Oh, don't get me started on him.
2 to 10. I think it's mostly the women that have kids. William is the only guy that has kids, right?
William.
I think he's the only guy.
Well, Jonathan had kids, but he's not there anymore.
Yeah, Jonathan had kids. Lamar had kids.
Oh yeah, he has a son.
Yeah, but you're right.
Lamar
More
had
than women.
kids.
More women have kids than the guys, so it's kind of like you stuck with what you stuck with. They didn't do a great job of mixing it up.
They never do.
And the women are worried about baby mama drama, so they're like, I'd rather have somebody without kids or whatever.
How you got baby daddy drama and you worried about my baby mama drama?
Listen, because they know.
Aries,
Ooh.
clicked. Where'd you go?
Sorry.
They took her out.
I'm back.
She got excited. She
My
clicked
baby
right off.
daddy. My baby daddy. That was like,
Cut off the internet.
They need to
Captain
go
to my
ahead.
line. He
They need to
said,
go ahead and blend them kids and stop playing. Just blend them. Put them all together.
it depends on them
Too many
ages,
people
though.
involved.
See, we got to calculate these ages. That's where I'll be having
Yeah,
problems.
you got the ages make
Okay,
it
not the
different.
age
Then you got
calculation.
The age matters. They need to be my
Yeah.
kid's age or above.
Oh,
Otherwise,
Chaz said Lamar doesn't have any children, so Chaz is back.
yeah.
no one
I
cares.
mean,
Nobody
the-
cares about Jesus.
the age
Lamar
Oh,
makes a
wait.
big
Wait.
difference. I
Lamar
tell you
don't
what,
got no
Mika's
kids? Well, thank God. Lord, thank Jesus.
yeah, 'cause what
That's
Mika's
wonderful.
kid's 6. She had an 18-year-old and a 6-year-old, and you know
Yeah.
nobody wants to go to the 6-year-old.
I said
you
that
starting all over again.
last week, Glenn, and they said I was being judgmental. So maybe they'll get you too.
Real
It might
women
be.
worry about baby mama drama. Yes, it is real, and I have been there, baby. Let me tell you, it ain't nothing to play with. And I was very young when I dealt with it, and I am too old to deal with that today. I refuse. It is a deal breaker, non-negotiable, whatever other word you want to use for it. So yes, that is real. If you don't have a co-parenting relationship that is healthy, I'm not interested. It's a lot more than people think. They be thinking they can just, I let him handle it. No, you're not gonna let him handle it, especially if that's your husband. You're gonna be like, look, heifer, I'm about tired of this. So you're gonna get involved at some point, and it's just not cute. Be grown. Like let's get some grown up relationships going on here. I think that's the fear.
Yeah, it's the fact that I think as a woman, you never want another woman pulling the strings in your household. And I think that's the biggest fear. Because I thought of the scenario today. Like, what if you and your husband, I'm gonna say husband, because right now you put you on like higher playing field footing. What if you and your husband have plans for a Saturday, and then all of a sudden the baby mama goes, well, I put him in a camp and he has a soccer game that you need to be at on Saturday. Then now the husband has to be like, Dag, do I show up to my kid's soccer game, or do I piss my wife off because we already had plans? It'd be stuff like that, like hypothetical.
Yeah.
But it'd be like, that's a real issue, because people are like, how would the baby mama pull strings like that? If they don't have a good relationship, she could just put her child and stuff and be like, you need to go pick up your child. Da, da, da. And he's like, no, I have something planned with my wife. Well, you ain't go pick up your kid? You see how
that's if you have a good relationship, because this stuff be going on, right? Like, and I relate to that because my kids are in travel baseball, basketball, golf, it's something happening all the time. So that schedule got to be coordinated really tight. And so I think that's one of the things that, you know, if you don't have that and you got somebody calling you and cussing you out or doing weird stuff, got the little baby on the phone crying, saying, I want my daddy on random nights just to get him to come over and all, just nobody got time to be playing with all that. So I can understand. And same with guys, right? Guys don't know what kind of dudes these
I was
women
just
had
about to
babies by.
say.
Somebody might have just got out and got their ankle bracelet on and they mad, don't want nobody around their kids. It be all kind of crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, I was about to say that too, because there's some
As a
guys
member
out
of the
there.
stepdad club.
Right.
Mm-mm.
It's better everybody get on the same page. If you guys are on the same page, everybody got the same schedule on their phone, they got the same calendar invite, maybe it's fine. But other than that, I definitely can see how people wouldn't want to involve themselves. I don't know what Will's situation is with his kids. And their mothers. Is it multiple mothers or
He has 2 ex-wives and 3 kids.
so 2 mothers?
Mm-hmm.
So he's been married twice.
Yeah.
I find that to be a little bit more scarier than the kids, but you know. But anywho,
That's a lot. You got to deal with 2 women instead of 1, and then not only 2 women, but 2 women and their kids. That's a lot to sign up for.
I think
I'm not
that's why
trying to be
people are
funny.
pausing. That's why they got William on pause, because he really seems pretty cool, but I think that's just a lot to.
Not to somebody with no kids. I'm sorry, that's too much. Just being honest. And you've been married twice, so you've been in a marriage situation. So if y'all decide to get married, now you're the marriage expert guy, right? Like when I was married last time, you know, that kind of stuff probably be coming out. And then you don't have no kids, and she's gonna have to adjust her schedule to go to all them little kids stuff, and it's 2 different moms. Oh my God, Jesus! Don't recommend.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the more I'm hearing y'all, Will does come with a lot because the fact that he doesn't really have, um, a biological family, so he throws himself into his kids so much. He said it several times.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to find space. It's gonna take a certain type of woman, and I think it's definitely not a woman without children because she's gonna have to understand the dynamics.
And this is the other key point that he talked about. I don't know what you call that. He said he'd been deployed twice. From being in a military family, those deployments can last for a long time. So that means somebody else is you're raising somebody else's kids. That means he's not there when you have to deal with the other baby mamas. That means he's in Afghanistan, who's in Iraq, or you can't communicate him. So now you're there negotiating and navigating as second mom to these other women while you by yourself.
Hell no, they going home with their mama. When you get deployed, they gotta go home.
Harris is cold-blooded.
I feel like the
Everybody needs to
ex-wives
go
be
home
doing
with
too,
their
though.
parent. You need to bond. I'll come hang out with them at the games.
They may be in the clear, because a lot of times when the ex-wife, if she decided to divorce you, she'd be done with you. It may be peaceful. It actually may be okay.
I agree. It could totally be. I mean, I think sometimes, for instance, my situation, my stepdaughter, she's 24. We had a hell in the beginning. That first 3, 4, 5 years is tough. But then we got over got over it, and everybody's good. Great relationship, everybody. Her mom, me, all of us. Big happy family now. But that takes a lot of effort and energy. Like, it takes a lot. Everybody's not willing to do what it takes to get to that point either. So no kids, I don't recommend. I'm sorry. If you were my little sister, my cousin, or somebody I like, I would be like, no, don't do it. Reconsider.
Look, it's 2024. Most women ain't trying to push out more than 2 anyway. If I could get an extra kid, that wouldn't be a problem. Just let me borrow an extra kid I ain't got to push out. In theory, it would be cool. But if it comes with drama, it's a problem. So, right, Sean?
Hmm?
Sound like a little drama.
How I get in it. Like Ari said, I mean, I love my stepkids to death. They are young adults as we speak. But them first few years, whew, Lord.
Not y'all saying y'all don't even want to borrow one.
Mm-mm. Yeah, this next go round, I would prefer us be on equal footing. Your zero to my zero. And God willing, we can make one together, you know? So other than that, it's too much. I did it. I don't really want to do it again.
I just like when the kids are grown. Just be grown already.
But them grown kids be having opinions too. And
Okay, you don't live with
these
it
kids
though.
nowadays, the young, they're not even millennials anymore. The 20
Gen
somethings,
Zs.
oh my God, they think they know everything. They came out the womb knowing, the keys to life. So no. They're gonna be giving me relationship advice. I remember my stepson, and I love him to death. One day when we were still together, me and his mom, he's like, "Is there something you want to talk about, Sean? I could, is there some advice you need?" I'm like,
Wait, how old was he? Hold on.
"You don't get away from me."
How
Not the
old was
advice
he?
you
Wait.
need.
He
Now he's
was
trying
like
to raise you.
21.
Oh,
If you
child.
don't
Trying to
go
raise
away,
you. I'm weak.
exactly. We talk about that grand rising and telling me all these things.
Oh no, not Grand Rising.
Come on
Yes, I
in,
love my
Grand
stepson.
Rising.
He
He done
is
slipped into the
the best.
hoteps.
He is the best. I'm telling you, he's got such a personality.
Well, I had this conversation with my stepdaughter who's 24. Their dad is about to get married. So I'm about to go through. We got somebody coming into the family. It's Beyonce. And so there was a little moment of she hadn't met her and stuff and had an opinion. And I kind of came in and said, "Hey, you're grown. In reality, he don't need your approval to move forward with what he wants to do in his life. Now it would be great. And of course, as a family, you want everybody to get along, but remember, that's not required anymore. It ain't like y'all about to live together. You're a little kid and she being mean to you or something like that. The lady's a nice lady, chill. It's all good. And they've been fine. But yeah, I can see how like the adult kids can be like a little doing too much, but I don't know. Hell, I'm too old. You gotta have at least a kid because ain't nothing happening over here. So I don't care. I don't care how much I like you. I'm at that point. I'm like, ain't none of that over here. It's just what it is. So it's funny watching the people on the show just kind of waver back and forth on, I'm okay if I don't have kids, but if I want kids and if I like you enough, I'll have a kid. No, ain't none of that happening.
They concerned about you, Kojo.
Him
Y'all
going
done?
to sleep.
That if that head leans any further, you're gonna hit the screen.
Y'all done? Yeah, y'all good? Y'all were
What did
going
we
at it.
say? What did we say?
I can't lie to you. I didn't hear a word y'all was saying. Okay, I know you guys were bantering back and forth, but it felt like it went to RTL and somewhere else. So y'all were elsewhere. I don't know what y'all were saying. To be
I was
honest,
about to take it to that poor Love Is Blind lady with her baby, and how Jimmy didn't want to take her baby. But I said, look, let me not.
we need to do a Love Is Blind one because that is crazy, bro. Love Is Blind. Maybe we have to do it tomorrow because Love Is Blind is crazy.
Because I had said
And
last week, I said nobody wants you and your 6-year-old. Now I got to add the 10-year-old. The 10-year-old getting smoked too. Yeah,
10-year-old gets smoked.
they don't want They don't want you and your 6-year-old or you and your 10-year-old.
They
Hey,
said no.
12 and up.
yeah. They said, look, we gonna have to drop you off. You gonna have to ride your bike to school. You gotta be on bike to school age.
Harry said they got to stay home, be able to stay home by
You gotta be able to
themselves.
stay home by yourself. Exactly.
We got to get a babysitter for you. You're too effing young.
It's too much.
Oh my
Not
gosh.
1 to 17.95.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we definitely need to do a Love Is Blind one because there's a lot of interesting things going on in Love Is Blind. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's killing it. Can't lie to you, absolute killing it. Okay, and I think JR's one us to see. I actually was awake, to be honest, but I just
Yo,
wasn't
what
present.
is going on in the UK?
Wait, what
It's
time
4
is it,
a.m. That's
guys?
what's going on. It's 4 a.m. That's what's going on.
Yo,
Is it?
yo, I'm not asleep. I'm taking it in. I'm listening to you
He
guys
was
talk about kids.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't have
definitely
any.
Taking it
asleep.
in.
He's
Listen,
definitely
I ain't got no
asleep.
dog in the race. I ain't got no kids yet.
Rest in your
I
If
ain't
eyes.
you're
got no
taking
step
it
kids,
in,
so I'm out this.
You was
I was-
side profile.
Yeah.
JR said, "This ain't about me. I'm ready to be somebody's stepdaddy."
He was
Said, I'm
weak like
here
this.
for it.
Hey,
JR ready to
listen,
be a
that
JR,
conversation
you
I
have
can't do.
kids.
Comfy too.
JR, you don't have kids, right?
No, I don't have any kids. Or
No,
step
he's trying to
kids.
be a
None of that.
stepdaddy, Aries. He's trying
And
to
do
be
you
a
want somebody
stepdaddy.
Nope.
with kids? Right.
Uh,
Are you open to having
next
being with someone who
question.
has kids?
I don't think I would be
Yes or no, JR?
trying to be diplomatic, not
Don't be
problematic.
diplomatic. Yes or no? Do you want somebody with kids or not? What's your
Why you acting
preference?
like Justin?
Right. Yes or damn
No,
no?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
If the right of a right Chicago girl come
No.
around, you gonna change your mind. Talk about never mind. You got a
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
I'll take one. Don't do us.
No.
So look after these
The right
kids.
Chicago girl did come around. She didn't have no kids, and no, it's not for me.
That's hilarious.
Do what you gotta do, JR. I hear you. Do what you gotta do. You get me? All right, listen. I think we've talked out. We had 500. We have 510 people on the live. Clearly, they want to hear you guys continue to speak.
We didn't
so-
talk about Mika and Dominique. That really got.
Oh, we didn't. Okay, listen. Yeah, we're right. Sorry, my bad. Thank you for reminding me because that one was interesting as well. I actually liked the conversation. It's a shame that obviously that they ain't gonna work out. Okay, because somebody want kids, somebody don't want kids. Situation. So let me get some of you guys' thoughts on this. Sorry, my bad. I actually forgot about them.
Did she say I didn't like you at first because you were short? Is that what
Yes,
she
she
said?
did. That's
She
right. Like I
said
said.
that. She absolutely said that. With her
And then
mean
I
self.
had, I rewinded 5 times to see that man stand up. I said, how tall is he? I couldn't tell. They kept on changing the camera angle to see if the man was short or not.
They got to make
Yeah,
him
he's
look tall
tall
on
is
the.
he?
They got to make him look tall, right? They got to use angles and things like that.
Hey, but his confidence, he was like, he was confident who he was. He did not waver one bit. His confidence was like, you know what? I am who I am. I'm not changing. Y'all like me. I have no fear of being eliminated whatsoever. And I thought that was the way he came in, like, okay, cool. Confidence. And his confidence to the point where she even thinking about having kids now.
Not with him.
She must have saw something.
Come on
Look.
now, man.
Oh,
Let's
No,
keep
I
it
know
real.
not with him. Not with him because he's talking about 2 to 10. That girl ain't having no more kids. She's done. But she was like, maybe. Just because the way the conversation was flowing, she thought about it for a minute. It was a thought.
She didn't think about nothing.
What does that man do for a living? What does he do? Because I'm too lazy to look it up.
He's like an artist or something, right?
No, there's a bunch of health IT consultants, and I think he falls somewhere in that range.
I thought he was doing, from what I saw, he was doing like
Yeah, I thought he was a curator.
spoken word or
Dominique?
yeah, it's something artistic.
I didn't think that. I thought he had something.
Maybe
in the
he
sex
has
thing.
more than one job like everybody else.
Can y'all look it up in the chat, please?
Because
I know-
I saw on his
Felicia said
Instagram.
he's an art curator.
See,
All
What's
right,
that,
Aries.
what does that mean? Can y'all explain?
it means he put on art shows.
Yeah,
Well, art
like he
shows
works in a
people,
gallery, and
Or
he
there's black version
picks out the
ones, too.
art. He picks out the art and selects the art that's going to be showcased.
Oh, that's cool. Does that make a lot of money? I don't know.
It depends on the art gallery you work at. But Felicia Cooper said more than one job because I swear I saw something else. Because they will float those titles. It'll be this, and 5 minutes later, it's something else.
Now they're saying
Somebody said he's an accountant. I knew I saw something in the
They
professional
change
space.
it up. They'll put like financial analyst for William, and then be like comedian, and then they'll be like gun store curator. The next they just change it up like every week. It's a new title. Okay, go on, Dominic.
He must got some funds if she's entertaining him.
Or something else.
What else? I'm trying to think.
Listen, and nobody shaming for the short kings, all right? So let's not.
I was gonna
body
say
shame.
big D
But
energy.
who else? If it's not Dominique, who else does she have? I mean, she has to entertain somebody,
Justin.
right?
That's it.
Justin, yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is saving. They're probably attracted to each other, but she knows that he's not. She knows she's not having that man kids, so I think it's just something to hang their hats on, both of them.
Yeah, but then who that leave Dominique with? Because there's nobody else, right?
Kojo, you shady for doing that. Listen, this is his time of year, so this is tax time. So if he is working at TurboTax, this is the right time to be doing it.
Yeah, he get all his bonuses.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that was just something for us to see them. I mean, to keep them on the show. I'm not buying this at all. We all know she doesn't want kids. He wants kids. There's nothing else to talk about. It should have been like a Lamar conversation. Nice meeting you. Have a good day.
Yeah, it's not working
out. This is giving like we just need another body.
She was moving a little bit. Y'all didn't see her move. She was kind of like, maybe.
See, that's what I said. She said maybe. She thought about it, but then it's not gonna happen. Because you remember, she already had.
They said it in the chat. Didn't she say she might have to put him on child support or something like that?
Yeah, she did that.
Yeah.
They just let you know what she's
said
from.
If she can get her mommy makeover after the kids, she might be open to it. And Lamar was doing not Lamar, my bad. Dominique was doing his thing too. You know, he was like, listen, you got to have confidence. And she was like, okay, I like the confidence. They were vibing. You don't think they were vibing, as the young kids say?
I think he has a check.
Cap.
I think he has a check. That's all I think.
But a child support statement, that's why he has a check. Let's be honest. That's why she said child support.
No, she said that because she don't want no damn kids.
She said he could put her on.
I'm gonna leave him on your porch.
Yeah, she said put her on child support.
Yes, exactly. Put me on child support. I was probably say something like that too. I was like, "That's your damn baby. You wanted it." That's what she said to him.
All 10 of them be on the porch, huh?
Bye.
Any other thoughts on the Mika and Dominique situation?
No, they're just both being very unserious. Very unserious. If a woman says that she doesn't want kids and you want 2 to 10, what are you still talking to her for? You trying to push the issue, and these be the same men that end up having babies with women who want to go party and be at All-Star Weekend and be in the club and do this and that. Then they want to get on the internet, on the red pill internet, and cry to their homeboys, talk about she don't want her kid, she didn't take care of her kid. She told you she didn't want a kid from the beginning. You wanted her to have a kid because you thought she was cute.
She always gotten off the horse and started walking again.
So we don't feel bad for you.
That's facts, though.
They be it's always them. It's always the Dominiques. They always go for the same people who done
try to trap you. They want to trap you, and then when they trap
you and Aries tag teaming each other with this foolishness.
That's what it is.
What your notes say, Seaway? Your notes got to say something better than that.
It said, how many times does this lady got to tell you she don't want no kids? What is you still talking to her for?
And nothing he does is gonna do that. He thinks he really thinks. That's the funny part. He thinks his confidence, he's like, see, I'm that type of dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll change your mind, girl. No, sorry. She'll be taking birth control pills while you up there thinking y'all trying to have a baby. And you'll be wondering what's going on.
My other notes was that he wants somebody who cooks. She said, I ain't confirming or denying if I cook or not. And he was like, oh, okay. Like none of his non-negotiables were non-negotiable. Like everything was like very fluid. I'm like, what's the point of this? His non-negotiables is no kids, but he's still talking to her. And what else I got? Yeah, I mentioned that she said he wasn't her type. He wasn't her type because he was short. And then I have that he's a little boring. That's all I got.
Anything
told
else
him.
we miss? Because them notes be hitting.
Nope, she told him what it was. So if he want to be silly, that's on him. No crying for Dominique.
But what we see, he has nobody else, so he'll be going home soon.
Because he's shooting for the stars. Yeah, very confident.
And did him and Alexis have a? What did they have something? No, they had a date, the stretch date, but I don't know. I don't know if they're voting for each other in the lounges or not.
Who said that man was 5'10"? Who said that?
You know, when y'all get in this chat, y'all get to
They
speculate.
just making up stuff.
Yeah, they're just throwing things out. Somebody said 5'4", then they went to 5'7" to 5'8". Somebody said 5'10".
Hey, Shimber says Dominique could go unserious close to 40, asking for 10 kids.
How old is he? Wait.
I thought he was 34 or something, but I don't never get
No,
to
the hell, he ain't no 34. Do you know what 34 look like?
He don't look 34 for sure.
That ain't what 34 look like. 34 look like younger than Kojo, younger than me. That's not what 34 look like.
Justin's 34, right? These guys are very young. That's the other reason I think these seasons
They
are
said
not
36.
like these last two seasons have a lot younger men than usual. I think it's telling.
Yeah, some of these ages, I can't lie to you. I don't know what
31
generation.
Yeah, it's like LeBron is 32.
I'm not aging well at all.
Will is 31. They look old as hell.
40s.
Will
Y'all
is
are a
31.
tough crowd. Somebody said his face is a strong 45. What? Woo!
Well, Mary 10 years said they got to stop all that drinking. I know we ain't in Houston this season, but all that drinking, all that partying.
Yeah, it'll swell you up.
Yeah. That's for your 20s. You doing that in your 30s, it's going.
But they said that the Gen Zers, they said they looking older.
It's a stress, man. It's a stress. It's a social media stress. There's a lot of stress on them, man. There's a lot of stress on these generations before us, man. We used to go out and play. These guys go on computer games and de-stress. You know what I mean? Like, you're stressed, man. You know what I mean? So I can imagine that you're gonna look older. You know, they know more than we did when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, knowledge is powerful, but when you have too much of it, it makes you older, more quote unquote more mature at an earlier age. So no wonder they don't look so young and innocent. Everything is just it's just out of order, man. So can't lie to you. When I watch these shows, even Love Is Blind, sometimes I'm like, he is 25. Like, I think my friend was saying to me like the other day, like, yo, that teacher, the Kenneth, he cannot be 25. Jimmy cannot be 27.
Oh,
like,
he was. Those are some hard. That was a hard 25 and a hard 27. But for the clear people though, we can't really put too much on it.
Yeah, they that's just how they look.
But baby mama look good for her age. She looked fantastic. What's her name?
Jessica.
Jessica,
she's 25. What should she look like? She's
no, she's not. 25. She got a 10-year-old. No,
wait, she's what?
She's 28. I'm sorry, she's 28 because she had the baby at 18 or 17.
1 year older. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought she was at least 31, but okay.
She look old too, though.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's because she had all that makeup on.
Well, maybe
I think it's the makeup too. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's the makeup and stuff. People, when I didn't even pluck my eyebrows until I was in college. So like these kids be having their face beat in high school. We weren't doing all that.
Well, all we
Yeah,
had
it's
was
not
Mac.
good for you.
All we had was Mac.
And I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even wear makeup. I don't think I
Just
can wear
can't
makeup
breathe,
to my
man.
proms.
But anyway, let's get out of here. Listen, Sean, give us a wrap up
Go, Dorothy, go.
before we say something that we shouldn't say. Let's get out of it. It's getting wild.
We all have collectively got off the horse and started walking.
Yeah.
We could thank Seaway. She ushered us in. I don't even know. This was such a disjointed episode to me. I can't do I don't have the normal feeling, but I'll give it a try. Just bear with me, y'all. So I think as we what Coach, you're wild. You're wild.
On the chat, y'all. He's
Why
not
would you do that?
He wasn't
Why
asleep.
would you do that? That's so wrong.
There's your benediction, because Coach
That's
don't play
it.
nothing much.
On that note,
What else is
stay
there to
sober,
say?
stay stable, and stand on
Hey.
business in relationships. That's it.
I was so sorry. I just couldn't help myself. I'm like you. It happens to me, JR. Don't worry. Listen, audience, thank you so much. We've had a great time. We're going to be behind the scenes, but listen, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads, and we'll see you tomorrow. We've got Jonathan coming through at 6 p.m. EST, so we're going to have a good time. But make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. We'll see you again very soon. Much love, much appreciation as well. See ya.